Driven, nature, fraud, breathless, body, diamond, bones, wanna be it, wanna feel it.
Because we've got a group of amazing stages. We're kicking off with Vastila, which is in exactly the same format as which we saw last year, 18.94 kilometers in length. Pajala makes up the loop this morning, and then of course to complete the loop we have the legendary Oninpoja stage, and just to say the word gives you little goosebumps. I worked out the other day that this is my 20th Rally Finland, and I've seen Oninpoja in very different forms over the years, but I'm very much looking forward to seeing it back to its 33k best this weekend. Now, Vastila, where we are this morning then. From some of the quotes from the drivers last year when it was run on Saturday morning, just as it is now, you know, it's a great stage to kick everything off. It's got a beautiful rhythm to it. It is fast in there. But what's going to be really interesting to see, for us at least, after the rain that we've had, is what's the grip level going to be like in this stage? Well, we're hearing from the safety cars already this morning, who have spoken to Molly Pettit. And they have said that it is damp within the stage, but grip seems high. We'll find out, obviously, from our first car on the road, and that is Taka Katsuta. And it is dry right now. There is no falling rain. I'm Bex Williams, ready to talk you through the day. Alongside me is Mike Chen, who's already on the edge of his seat. Morning, Chenny.
Morning, Bexy. How are you? 20 Finlands.
Yeah. What?
Congratulations. That's nice. That's a nice little stat to have.
Thank you, mate. I've missed some. I missed 2 in my kind of tenure here. Gained 1 in 2020 when COVID struck. We came here for an esports event rather than the rally, but I'm not counting that. But yeah, 20 Rally Finlands. Wow. Yeah, it's nice.
And you don't look a day over 60, so...
Thanks, mate. I really appreciate that
comment. That's the only reason I said it. No, congratulations, Bex. 20 Rally Finlands. Well done.
Thanks, mate. Okay, what did you think of yesterday, then? We didn't really have a chance to kind of tuck our teeth into everything that happened yesterday, because we were commentating on the final super special stage last night. There were so many good factors yesterday. The performance of the Toyotas out there for Kalle Rovanperä, Elvin Evans and Sebastian Ogier. But for me, it was Sami Pajari that stood out. And yes, he had a stage win, and that was epic, but it wasn't the stage win so much as how he handled difficult situations.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first of all, I think the key thing was the conditions that made everything so complicated, didn't it, for everybody? We didn't know if stages were going to get faster or slower. It was so hard to predict what was going to happen. For all the drivers, they had to deal with that inconsistent grip, and doing so in those on stages like this where it's so fast, and if you're not on the limit, if you're not right there, you're going to just drop time, and it's so hard to find time as well. Here in Finland, I did some maths last night and worked out how far people are travelling in 10 seconds, and trust me,
oh my goodness,
there's a long, long way a rally car will travel at an average speed of 130 odd kilometres an hour. So yeah, look, it's difficult to get the time back, so everybody had to be on it yesterday. We saw lots of highs and lots of lows. The high, as you said, I think Sami Pajari, great job. Takamoto just clunking that car. You saw him pull the gear lever twice into second just to get the... you don't need to launch him in first. We were talking about it yesterday. It just lights everything up, so second is a much cleaner start. And this is a really nice... Straight away, you're into the fast stuff on this stage. It's a nice, clean stage. There's quite a few junctions in here as well, and that classic shot where it goes around the barn. But straight away, you've got to be on it instantly. And again, I don't know. I mean, this is the first time we've seen this stage, whether or not it's going to get faster or slower. This is what the drivers were saying yesterday. For sure, it looks nice and smooth. It's whether or not, though, Bex, there's that kind of slimy, grimy surface on the top. Yeah, the cars just sort of skate over, and Taka ends up cleaning that away, and then the grip comes up. Or it could just be that it's switched on, the road is switched on straight away. Only way we're going to find out is when we get Taka to the end of the stage and then start making comparisons on splits as more and more people come through. But this could be a really good place for Taka to be today. After a difficult day yesterday,
yeah,
it could be he might have an advantage running first on the road.
You know, we saw with Taka yesterday, great pace, but just a small mistake that had big consequences. And for a lot of drivers, there were small mistakes with big consequences, as it always is here in Finland. He was one of them. He broke his rear suspension yesterday. He's back today under restart rules. But yeah, like Chenny's saying, it was very difficult to know yesterday where it was best place to be on the road, how it's evolving, how it's cleaning, because we've had a lot of rain in the past few days.
Well, and it was because we were seeing the rain in the stages, you know, and moving through the stage as well. So, yeah, lots of variables yesterday. Today is a new day, and I just hope the rain stays away, particularly through the all-employer stage, because seeing these cars going flat out through there is going to be very, very special.
Oh, yeah, absolutely it is. Just a reminder then of the way it stands as we continue to watch Taka here. It is Kalle Rovanperä leading by 8 seconds over Elvin Evans, with OJ just 0.6 behind Evans and 8.6 off the lead. Then we've got Thierry Neuville in 4th position overall, 16.9 adrift of podium, 25.5 seconds off the lead. Adrian Formeau is in 5th position for us for M Sport Ford, with Sami Pyri in 6th. Munster is 7th. And then we get into WRC2 category with Oliver Solberg leading the way. He's got a 24.1 second advantage over Jari-Matti Latvala, with Robert Verves in 3rd position in WRC2 and 10th overall, 7.2 seconds behind Jari-Matti. Some great battles within the WRC2 top 10 for you. Esa-Pekka Lappi also back under restart rules today.
Yeah, real shame what happened to EP yesterday. Car just bottoming out in a heavy rutted section, just bounced out, and he collected the tree with the rear right of the car, pulled the wheel off, and then to add insult to injury, just clouted the front of the car as well. Up until that point, it was going really well.
Yeah, well, there's some tape just flapping about there in camera shot.
It does look like a little bit of duct tape, or maybe a seal or something like that, but it looks like it could be a little bit of duct tape. I'm sure I think why there'd be duct tape there, but you do duct tape across things and try to cover up gaps and stuff where you can.
The motorsport world wouldn't survive without it, to be fair.
The world wouldn't survive without it. You could do all sorts with duct tape, Bex.
And that's a story for another time, ladies and gentlemen.
Come on.
I just want to say a massive good morning to everyone who's listening. Can already see social lighting up with you already for a day of fantastic stages here in Finland. Just consistently huge pace right at the start of this stage.
Yeah, you're straight into it, and you know, we were talking about it yesterday. I've been talking about it all year, how the Hyundai is very, very pointy. It's got so much front end. You know, the car just turns. It is like a housefly, but again, the compromise is when you've got loads of front end like that, the back of the car tends to get unsettled, and you get punished, I think, on the real faster rallies. And it's on the technical rallies where this car just absolutely comes into its own, but the Toyota just tends to understeer a little bit more. It's a slightly slower front end, and it suits the really fast stuff. It's more progressive in the fast stuff. So the Hyundai just looks a little bit like the drivers are fighting with it a little bit more on the quicker stuff. the word gets used all the time in rallying. It's about compromise. It's never ever perfect. That's the frustrating thing. You're always trying to, you know, to get that perfect compromise. And the Hyundai, as I said, it works really, really well on the tight, twisty stuff. Gives you loads of confidence, but here on a real fast rally where you turn in and the front instantly bites, the back just gets a little bit more unsettled.
It's Gregoire Monster underway for us on the opening stage this morning.
Nice cheeky bit of clutch slip there from Gregoire. Just managing all that power off the line. You want to turn that power into traction. There's no point just spinning wheels. You're going nowhere. You want to put that power down and get up the road. Bex Williams, you are the ultimate professional. Do you know that? Because Bex has just gone off air and had the most spectacular sneezing fit, and nobody at home heard it.
No one noticed. No one would have known.
I witnessed it. It was phenomenal.
Jeez, you gave me away.
Kept it all under control there, Bex. We need to get that comms cam on. There's a bloopers reel.
Really, not right now. Not right now, we don't.
A bloopers reel to be had from Bex Williams throughout this year.
Just watching the splits coming in of Esa-Pekka in comparison to Taka Katsuji. We saw two good opening splits. He was a little bit faster, the smallest margin, just a tenth of a second up. He's dropped a little bit of time now at 7.8 because he's 2.9 down.
Those are those lines that Thierry was talking about yesterday. You know, remember he got to the end of the stage and he said, yeah, when you're first on the road, you're cutting a line for people. And again, it's an advantage to be running first on the road in some conditions. But what it does here in Finland is you're cutting a line for everybody else, particularly on the brakes. And you can, so everyone's, oh, Gregoire just run wide there. Now that is a terrible time for that camera to freeze. Because Gregoire was well offline there.
We'll try and find out if anything did happen there with him. But that is Taka already through. They are stopped on the stage, Munster. It's 4.6 kilometres in. They press the OK button as he... Oh, look at the front of the car, though.
It was... like, I was sure that was going to end up like that. It was so offline, Bex. Ah, Gregoire, first stage of the day, mate. That's so frustrating for him. He will be absolutely distraught with that, Bex. And it's so easy to do on the very first stage of the day in difficult conditions on a rally like this where you are straight away on it. Bang, because this stage just comes at you so fast.
Let's have a look at it then.
Look at that. Yeah, it's just the back of the car's just swapped
gone into the
him.
ditch.
Ah, so frustrating. We obviously didn't see the main impact there. The main thing is they're okay, both out of the car, but and the fact that the lads are trying to get that out of the ditch. I love this sport as well, Bex. You don't get this anywhere else where the fans become the drivers' heroes.
And professional fans here in Finland as well.
Exactly, 100%. Hopefully they can get that car out and Gregoire can get going again. Hopefully it's just cosmetic damage. They're built so strong, these rally cars. But coming back to what I was saying, again, you can see it there. Thierry was talking about it yesterday, you know, being first on the road, you're cutting a line for everyone else, and they can see exactly, so the cars going behind can see exactly where Thierry's been, and the key thing is, they can see where his braking marks are. And for every driver coming behind, certainly the next 2 or 3, if you brake a metre, half a metre later everywhere, that all adds up by the end of the stage, and that's time that you're taking. Now, obviously, you're running the risk of overcooking it. But if you're just on the brakes just a fraction of a second later, you're straight away buying yourself time ahead of the car in front of you. So that is the disadvantage, particularly here in Finland, where the line is so prominent of where cars have been. EP dropping a lot of time here. The thing is, it's consistent time. It's not. Yeah, we'll only find out when we get into the stage, but I'm surprised by that. Perhaps it is just the grip levels dropping away a little bit, or has he had a moment?
Well, we'll find out. He's not, as you can see from the graphic, not far away from stage end. Molly Pettit's there chatting to the drivers, so we'll get full info on that shortly. On his run, Esa-Pekka then through 5.4 seconds behind Taka, but yeah, good start to the stage, but then that time just ebbed away.
That's going slowly.
What's happened here with Sami Pyöri?
That's not good. There's no drama inside the car.
That is why. Okay,
yeah,
that is why.
It looked like a stage interrupted situation, and it's because Gregoire's
blocking the road.
Blocking the road, and there's a lot of damage to that car, isn't there, Bex?
That's really unfortunate. Yeah, it's really hard to tell, wasn't it, from the angle, the onboard angle when he went off. What
we saw of the fans, we thought, because we hadn't seen the accident, right? We thought they were trying to get it back up onto the road. Oh, no, they were trying to get that out of the way because that is going nowhere. That's been over heavily. That's a massive accident for Gregoire Munster.
Well, this is a real shame to start the morning for Gregoire. Like you say, you know, we're not far into the stage at all with that happened. It's just under 5Ks where he's gone off, 4.6 Ks where that happened. And it was in an unfortunate place with, you know, partially blocking the road. Let's just look at it from that angle.
Sami doing absolutely the right thing here, and this is the great thing about rallying. You have to send somebody back down the road to slow the cars down coming towards you, and when you've got fans around to help you with that, that's great. So
they're basically saying you can get past. The stage is currently then under a red flag right now, obviously because of the fact that Munster was partially blocking the road. That car has now been moved.
Oh, Bex, that is... Do you remember Colin McRae and Nicky Grist's accident in Rally GB where the back of the Focus had just... Good lad, good thumbs up, that's nice to see. But where the back of the car, the cage, you can see the cage has gone in at the back there. The safety cell itself is completely intact and a green light on that car as well. So that's great news in terms of keeping the drivers safe. They are so safe, these cars. Designed to be so safe, all obviously adhering to the FIA rules, but yeah, that car's a mess, and I just feel for everybody down at M Sport.
Let's hear then from Esa-Pekka Lappi this morning. Time of 8:34.8 on the board.
You were looking very good on the opening splits. Then the third split, you dropped 3 seconds. Why was that?
I was discovering the stage. I mean, I didn't do it last year, and I wanted to make sure everything is good with the pace notes and that there's no surprises with the grip levels. So, and in the end, why to try, you know, to push maximum because nothing to fight for.
Yeah, that's a very good point from EP. We've got two drivers who've made it through then this stage so far. Taka was first on the road for us, 8:29.4, then EP 8:34.8. Then it was Munster. Munster has obviously rolled in the stage. We've seen that car being pushed now into a safe position in the stage, but he was blocking it for Sami Pyöri, who came through, had to slow. The stage was under a red flag, but that's for Mo just starting the engine now, getting ready to go, and the stage getting ready to restart. And we're hearing a 9:23. The stage will restart.
Yeah, so this is Sami just cruising through the stage at road speed, as the regulations state. Under a red flag, you just drive through and then they will do a restart. Sami will then be given a nominal time. Obviously, all of this is completely out of his control, and what they'll do is they'll probably give him that nominal time this afternoon through stage 14. They'll look at the time that Sami sets and then give him something around that, and they'll look at all the people around him and see what time they've set this morning. Because obviously the stage will change between this morning and this afternoon, so they can't just carbon copy this afternoon's time. They'll have to look at all of the conditions and then come up with what they deem to be a fair nominal time for Sami Päivärinta. So
9:24 we're hearing the restart time is now for this stage.
Excuse me.
So a little bit of an unfortunate start to the morning. Crucial thing is, though, Gregoire and Louis are okay. It's just not what they wanted first thing on a Saturday morning, with so many brilliant stages ahead for them to have really got their teeth into.
It shows, Bex. I mean, I know we didn't see the off, but we'd seen enough of the start of it to kind of work out what had happened with Gregoire. And where that's the fine line between being on the grip and not. And he turned in, and the car had initially turned in. It was the back of the car that was just slightly offline. He was probably carrying a bit too much speed as well. And it just rotated very, very quickly. And that's classic Rally Finland. Again, you see that Adrian's got that Puma in second gear. So again, starting in second, the revs just drop a little bit, the car bites and it launches. But that's what happens in Finland when you go off, because the speeds are so high. And Adrian will also know that Gregoire, his M-Sport teammate, has had an off, and straight away that just puts a little bit of pressure on your shoulders. I'm the sole remaining M-Sport car here. You know, I've got to step up to the mark a little bit. And also what it tells you is conditions are obviously quite tricky in here.
And as we've seen straight away, you know, they're all fast stages here, but it has such this beautiful flow right to the start that you're almost at top speed within seconds of getting into it.
Yeah,
and that continues for quite a stretch. It's a wake-up call first thing in the morning.
Oh, massively. The stage comes at you so fast, and the thing is as well, you know, it's not, you're preparing. In turn one, you're preparing for turns 2 and 3. You know, that's the thing about Finland, is because you're carrying so much speed, you can't afford to be offline on the exit of the corner, because you won't get yourself set up for the next corner, and that's when you're offline, and that's when you end up having an accident. So there's so much to think about because the speeds are so high. You're constantly thinking 2 corners ahead here.
Okay, if you're just joining us for the first time this morning, looking at times maybe online, thinking what's going on here, Gregoire Munster's gone off the road on this stage. He's rolled. Both crew are okay. They were blocking the road, so initially there was a red flag on the stage. Sami Päivärinta was on stage at that time, so he's just coming through under his own speed. And the stage has restarted at 9:24 with Adrian Formeau. So that's the situation on the opening stage this morning, the Vastila stage, where we're at right now.
That's where Gregoire dropped it. See that Puma tucked off to the right-hand side of the road. He just carried too much speed into the airbags and back of the car offline, and the result was what it was.
As we leave Adrian Formeau then, who is in 5th position overall, we switch to Neuville, who's 4th in the overall classifications. He's 16.9 seconds adrift of podium, and of course he was first on the road yesterday, and at times it was the best place to be. But he never thought, I'm sure, coming to Finland, that he would just be 25.5 seconds off the lead at the end of day 1. when he's effectively sweeping, but the conditions were so difficult yesterday.
Yeah,
He set a fastest time in the afternoon.
Yeah, for sure. At times the conditions favoured Thierry, and others he was disadvantaged. But I think overall he had an advantage running first on the road in the conditions. The shame for Thierry was when he made that mistake on stage 2 or 3 rather.
Sammy Huamenta, unfortunately not getting a high-speed run through there, but tell us a bit how you and Annie work through the stage when you don't get to do it full speed.
Yeah, first of all, it's I saw both of the driver and co-driver from other car outside, so they were fine. So that's the main thing. They are fine, but personally a bit shame because this is basically, I would say, even my favorite stage, and the conditions were exactly perfect. So I was really hoping to do the stage, but okay, we just went slowly after that, but we tried to be also a bit quick that they can continue to rally soon.
A real shame there for Sami Pyrie. Like you said, one of his favourites. Conditions absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
And that's hopefully, well, that's looking great for this morning. Let's hope there's no more rain that's going to fall in this region to change the conditions.
See Martin just giving the thumbs up to Louis there, who has to stand there by regulation with that OK board to say, we're here, you guys press on, everything is OK.
Yeah, and another key thing, you know, Sammy said was, you know, he saw them outside of the car, and it's his responsibility to check whenever you come across an accident like that.
Yeah, you're always on the verge of a colossal shunt here in Finland because, you know, as I said, that it's such a fine line, and if you're not absolutely on the limit, you just get swamped. And, you know, coming back to what you're saying about 25 seconds off the lead, in Finland, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. And I mean, we spoke to Christian Loriot last night at, you know, Meet the Cruise session at the end of the day, which was very well attended by the Finnish fans. What could Thierry do out there? And it's such a big gap still, even though you look at it and go 16.9 from the podium. When you've got these guys separated by tenths of a second on stages, it's so hard to make up even just 16 seconds.
It equates, let's say we see a rough average speed of 130 kilometers an hour here in Finland. That 25 and a bit seconds equates to just shy of a kilometre in distance. You know, it's just over 900 metres. So that's, I mean, that's how far ahead the lead is. It's basically a kilometre up the road. So that's what we're talking about. That's why it's so hard to try and gain that time back, because the average speeds are so high. Now, of course, if you have a spin, time is time if you have a spin or you have a puncture. But if you don't have a problem, it's very difficult to get that time back on sheer pace alone on the road.
There's no question, you know, he's close enough to put pressure on the guys in front so that they can't make a mistake. And it's the same with Formo. I mean, he's 23 seconds behind Neuville. There's nothing to be gained in time, but people can't make mistakes out there, and we are seeing plenty of them this weekend. Thought Sebastian Ogier had a great day yesterday back in Finland after missing it for a couple of years. But obviously not rusty around the edges, because in podium position, right up there, just what, 8.6 seconds off the lead. Has he even been away? It didn't feel like it. countdown to Katsuita's time then from Adrian Formeau.
Classic Rally Finland, that, isn't it? Just absolutely pinned to the boards on the limiter, and just that's how good and how stable these cars are. Unless you've experienced it, which I was very lucky, very lucky to do with Voigt Tanak in Latvia, how they absorb all the bumps, how the car remains completely planted in the ruts and everything else is very, very difficult to explain. But the suspension technology in these cars is mind-blowing, and how stable they are.
Shunt in there, and it must be so hard to reset and focus yourself for the stage. Only 2.4 dropped in there.
I'm really sorry for Grégoire. For sure, it's not ideal also for the team, but you know it can happen. The grip was quite low in some places also, so it's so fast also. So you need to get the grip. So it's a shame. I had a clean stage, but definitely I'm still fighting with the car. So yeah, we need to make some improvement, but I'm quite happy with what I've done.
What are you fighting with this morning?
Laziness. She needs to wake up.
She needs to wake up. Like we said, it is a super high-speed stage to get us started this morning. Okay, the battle between the top three drivers. I think we're going to have a replay here for a moment of Elfyn Evans. Ooh, just dipping into the ditch of the side there.
Give him a I was a Rally Finland survivor badge. He was lucky to get away with that. But we see it all the time, don't we? Just the back of the car just stepping into the ditch, and at that point you just bury the throttle and point the car where you want it to go. And you're in the lap of the Finnish gods at that point, but Elfyn getting away with it, and wouldn't have dropped too much time there either, Bex.
No, he's half a second down from what we can see at the opening split, at least on Ogier. Remember, there is nothing between them. It's only 6/10. Neuville looking good on the splits here.
What a gift to be stood out in there now, just watching them come through flat out like that is so good. And Thierry, we couldn't see his hands, but he will have been trying to be so smooth there, you know, just putting in the most minute steering inputs through that really fast section, just those left, right. You don't want to unsettle the car, you don't want to scrub off any speed, you're just very, very smooth, very, very fine with steering inputs.
Now, as you can see from the split, Elfyn now faster than Ogier by 0.4 of a second. Let's hear from Thierry, though. It is the fastest time through so far, 8:28.4.
This is a great stage, Bex.
Thierry, good morning. We look forward to hearing your journey through there, because you started faster, then you were a bit slower, and then you finished the second fastest.
What?
Your split journey through the stage, you were faster than slower, and then you finished the second fastest so far.
But I have no grip on the rear. I'm sliding everywhere, so I cannot commit, but yeah, that's it. We need to work. I don't know what to do, but it's pretty much bad.
Is that the conditions? Did you make some changes to the car?
The conditions are not great, but I can't get the car working.
Yeah, we can see it, Bex. I mean, you know, you can see there's just so much on the front of that car. It just works so well at the front, but what that does is straight away unsettles the back. So it'll be on initial turn-in, but then the back of the car just almost gets shocked and you get that oversteer. We were talking yesterday about slowing the chassis down, slowing the movement of the car down. I don't mean in speed or anything like that, but slowing down the way the car reacts. On a really fast rally like this, you want the car to just be that little bit slower, so it's not shocking itself, so it's more stable. You can see with all the Hyundais, when they turn in, the front end grip, really good, but it just shocks the back, and then they're constantly correcting. And that's, I mean, any rally driver would rather have a little bit of oversteer than understeer, for sure. But when it goes to the point that it shocks the back of the car into a little bit of oversteer, then on a rally like this, then you will leave time behind. And we saw it yesterday straight away. We were able to make direct comparisons between the Hyundai through that fast right-hander at the end of the stage, where all three of them would turn in and were instantly correcting, whereas the Toyota would turn in and it just looked planted all the way through the corner. Again, it's just all about compromise, but that's why I think, for me, the Toyota remains the better tool for the faster rallies. Stick that Hyundai on tarmac on a tight technical place, that's probably the seat to be in. But we can see Thierry's frustrations.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's not exactly keeping it in. 8:25.4 is the time for Sebastian Ogier. Elfyn Evans is 2.1 seconds faster behind at 11Ks. Now, Elfyn won both runs of this stage last year. He does like this stage, and that is evident on the splits. You can see Rovanperä is up on Evans here, but crucially for Elfyn, he is faster than Ogier. Remember, he's trying to hold off the 8-time world champion.
Seb, good morning. It's a great time. You're fastest through by 3 seconds, but your teammates are flying in there. Could you have done any more?
It's, I think for sure we expect, especially Elfyn having competing here last year, being flying. The grip was low, so I tried, but it was not easy to find the limit.
He's mentioning grip was low. Thierry mentioned grip was low. Sami Pari was like, it's perfect conditions. I really wanted to do it competitively.
Good thing is, it's definitely not as wet as yesterday, but I mean, look, on the split times, bets on the times, it looks like the stage is getting quicker. So I think, you know, Thierry's gone fastest, Sebastian Ogier's gone quicker. It looks like Elfyn is going to go even quicker than Seb. So, and then Rovanperä, who is into the stage, is also on an absolute stormer. So the grip levels might be low, but it looks to me like the stage is getting faster.
It definitely is. We've got another split point for Elfyn to go through before we see him at, of course, the stop control. Rovanperä is 1.2 faster at 7.8 Ks into what is an 18, almost 19-kilometre stage here at Vastila, which kicks off the morning. Ogier did say something interesting there, though, and he's right. You know, we didn't see Rovanperä through here last year. Ogier wasn't here on this stage last year, and Elfyn won both runs of them. He really got his teeth stuck into this stage. Rovanperä now past 10 kilometres, 1.6 faster than Evans, but Evans still up on Ogier. Final split, 2.7 seconds is the advantage that Evans has there. You've got 3 Toyotas today in the top 3. Top 3 drivers separated by 8.6 seconds coming into this day. That's a heck of a fight. You don't want to be Kyle Lindström right now, who's looking after the team while Jari Matti is behind the wheel. I mean, these drivers are, I was going to say old enough and bad enough, but yeah, Rovanperä is still pretty young, but they're mature enough to know what they're doing out there. They're all in a fight with each other. 2.9 seconds faster, and, you know, Toyota historically don't pull any kind of team orders.
Sometimes the less said, the better. But,
exactly.
You can, when they're all doing what they need to do, they're in a good mental mindset. Sometimes asking them to do things that's not natural is counterproductive.
8 tenths now the advantage, so a little bit of time lost to Evans in between 10 and 11 Ks. Here from Elfyn, though, he extends his advantage over Seb to 3.5 seconds now. It was only 6 tenths coming into the morning.
Elfyn, good morning. 2.9 seconds quicker than Seb in there. How hard were you pushing? There was a small visit in addition
wasn't very happy with my run. It was a bit scrappy, especially at the beginning. Grip was actually quite difficult. More slippy than expected at the beginning. It looked better than it was, let's say. So, yeah, otherwise okay, but yeah, shame for the first part.
Yeah, we did capture that moment of Elvin Evans with the rear into the ditch.
Just goes to show how hard Elvin was pushing from the off as well, and obviously that he's comfortable in the car. He didn't mention the car at all there, so it suggests to me that he's happy with what the Toyota's doing. Again, Elvin's a perfectionist. He'll have been, when he says a scrappy run, he'll have been talking about literally 2 or 3 corners where he's just made a little bit of an error. The rest of the time, you know, you can clearly see it on the stage time that he set. You know, has been a good start to the day for Elf.
I love watching Rally Finland from the heli in particular, because you're just watching the beautiful placement of the car into each corner. It's so, like you were talking earlier, the minimal work on the steering wheel, trying to keep it so smooth, but how they set up for every sweeping corner without losing too much time. He's the master in the stage at the moment then. He is the fastest man there, 2.2 seconds up on Elvin. Final split point for our rally leaders, Kalle Rovanperä and Jone Halttunen. Seconds faster. It is a great start to the day for our rally leaders. They extend their advantage now into double figures. Kalle looked as if he was asking a question of Jone then. 10.2 seconds overall now is that advantage. Great run. We'll find out how they're feeling very shortly with Molly. We switch now to WRC2 and our rally leader there, Oliver Solberg.
Everybody's struggling in here with grip levels. What was it like for you?
Yeah, it was surprisingly slippy, a bit more slippier than I was expecting. Probably the same for everybody. So, yeah, it was still okay. I tried to enjoy and push a bit. We had a problem on the start line. I don't know why, but like 3 seconds before the start, the car was shutting off itself. So we were really lucky to start again and start on our own time. So that was weird.
Yeah, weird, and a bit of a heart-stopping moment as well for them, I'm sure. There's a bit of panic at the start line. But they got into it on time. They have set the fastest time. They've extended their lead. Now, Oliver Solberg has a lead over Jari-Matti Latvala in the WRC2 championship. That lead is 24.1 seconds after last night's stage. Latvala is faster than him at the stage by half a second, up at almost 12 kilometres. It's going to be good to hear from Jari-Matti at stage ends, because we didn't see a lot of him yesterday. He was running so far back within the category. Oliver's keeping it pretty cool and calm out there, though. I thought he had a really strong day yesterday.
Really important in these WRC2 cars to just make sure you carry all the speed now. Yeah, don't scrub off any speed at all. Keep it absolutely pinned. You can see how the Rally 1 cars can rely on the aero through that corner. They can turn in and keep the car nice and close to the apex. You haven't got the same aerodynamic grip on the WRC2 cars that you have on Rally 1, and straight away as you were coming over the jump, the car was much further out to the left. Pretty committed from Oliver at the very end there.
Yeah, you can see on the split Latvala now, just 0.4 of a second slower than Solberg. Last year we saw them, of course, compete in the Rally 1 machinery. Now in the new to this year, at least, the Rally 2 car, the GI Yaris Rally 2. Told me earlier on this weekend that he would like to be within the top 5. Right now he's in 2nd position. Now Molly has left the stop control. She's on her way, lucky girl, to own employer. So we will hear from our drivers at the end of own employer. We'll hear from our P1s on the Pajala stage, which is coming up next.
He's not got any less brave in his middle-aged years, Bex. He is on it through there. That's really, you can see Jari Matti just, as you'd expect, not frightened of it at all, not hanging back. And you saw it again, we saw it yesterday in difficult conditions. Such a shame that they were split so far apart on in terms of the seeding and the road order. It'd been nice to see him competing on under the same conditions.
Alussa oli lopussa oli parempi rytmi, mutta oli. Vähän piukasta oli. Minä on varmaan pidottaa, että paikka. Pitää malttaa sisäänkään. Pitää.
He looks happy enough.
Hyvä loppuun, vähän parani pari pientä virhettä, mutta en mä tiedä. Ihan kohtuu hyvin, että vähän voi parantaa, mutta ei mitään, kaikki ees. Se on kohdallaan. Sanotaan, että oli
We've got enough Finnish friends to tell us what's happened. I'm sure we'll be able to bring you that interview shortly.
Now, we should hear from him throughout the morning. Just not on this stage, sadly. It's quite tight for Molly to get to the end of own employer.
I'm sure what I meant was, I'm sure somebody will translate it and send it to you.
Oh, no, I know you were saying that. I was just reiterating to everyone watching. Drink your coffee. When it was a good time on the board for him, for Jari Matti. Wasn't as quick as Oliver Solberg, though. The leader in WRC2 is 1.5 seconds behind. So that means now Solberg has an advantage over Latvala of 25.6 seconds. Jari Matti said, we are getting some translations in already. I had to drive so fast. And Juho was saying the start wasn't so good and the end was better.
Which is interesting because
it was the middle section where they were quite quick.
Yeah, you're right, Bex. Yeah, it just dropped a little bit at the end, but you could see how committed Jari Matti was. Great to see. And the main thing is, as soon as they cleared the red finish boards, two massive smiles on their face. You know, clearly enjoying every second of it.
Now, Robert Verves has completed the stage, 8:58.7. Remember, Robert is in third position overall. He's now 10.8 seconds behind Jari Matti in the overall classifications. He lost 3.6 to Latvala in there. We're on board with Lauri Junna. But also we have Mikko Heikkilä in the stage.
There's that barn shot we were talking about where the stage just sort of slows down, heads round the barn and then get a momentary respite from the wild speeds.
one of the lucky ones from yesterday. Yesterday morning, he had a bit of a moment, didn't he, Gail Glinnemer, into a ditch, but managed to get himself back out. Even he admitted when he crossed the flying finish into the stop control that he was a lucky boy. Robert Verves apparently commented at the stage end that it was very slippery and not committed enough in that stage. And Mikko Heikkilä also finished for us. It's a good, strong time from Heikkilä. 8:51.4 is the fastest WRC2 car through so far. Puts himself now just 1.3 seconds behind Robert Verves. So that is becoming a very spicy little battle.
Yeah, the conditions will suit Heikkilä better today, Bex. Yesterday he was struggling in the wet. Today, if it stays dry. Such a great end to the finish, end to this stage. The rev limiter putting in some work time in the final kilometre of this stage.
Greisen's time then 8:59.3. Remember, Greisen electing not to pick up WRC2 points here.
Larry Yuna's on it this morning, Bex. The stage is coming to him. It was really neat and tidy through that barn section. That's where you can really lose a lot of time. It's obviously heavy braking zone, and then you just don't want to be scrubbing off speed around the bales, around that man-made chicane there. But it was nice and clean from Larry, and he's now started to just nibble back the time to Mikko Heikkilä. Car looked really stable there as he was, you know, in absolute top gear, flat out round that left-hander, and as soon as he jumped on the brakes, the car looked really planted, didn't it? It didn't look unstable at all. It didn't look like the back was, even though he still had a little bit of lock on, the back of the car wasn't trying to get ahead of him, or rotate rather. I imagine Larry Yuna's enjoying every single second of this. This will feel quite good to him, I'm sure.
We've had Rupa Korhonen complete. 8:58 is the time for Korhonen.
eri 3. Puoli pitkä ohi. 5. Oikea loiva aukee. Tasa. Lyhyt vasen helppo yli 5. Lyhyt oikein helppo. Ja vasen helppo pikkutumppu. Ja oikein täyssota 20. Roiku vasen helppo 3. Lyhyt vasen loiva sisään tumppu. 51. Vasen täys miinus. 100. Sairaan pitkä oikea loiva kitraladolta eri. Älä rumpu. Ja vasen helppo.
Just dropping 3/10 towards the end of this stage. Again, just the car just getting away from him a little bit there. Now maybe we're just starting to see some ruts just starting to appear. Have we passed that sweet spot in the stage now, where the road is just perhaps starting to deteriorate in places? The right foot remains absolutely pinned to the boards, and you just got to be so smooth with that steering wheel. Carry all the speed, keep it pinned all the way to the finish now. 1.6 down. Strong finish to the stage for Lauri Juna. Mikko Heikkilä remains the benchmark with an 8:51.4. Johan Rossell now. Conditions should suit him a little better. He was the one yesterday who was admitted to himself that this was very much a learning experience for him, and again opting not to score championship points here, instead just get the seat time of Rally Finland. And Rally Finland's unique stages, 6.9 seconds down. 10 Ks.
80 mètres à vue, 351 mètres à face large pour un ciel face, 50 mètres, gauche 162 de suite.
Back with Georg Linnemeier. Windscreen looks, if that's on the inside of the car, you'd assume it is, but that's like a film across the inside of the car there, isn't there? There's something going on. That'll be affecting its visibility, obviously, so find out what's going on there, but that's, you can see the time loss as well. He was just 2.1 seconds down at 7.84 kilometers. And at 10 kilometers, it's 13.1, so he's dropped 7 seconds in 3K. Something's gone on there. I suspect that he's gone off, and that is oil or something that perhaps is, he's had a moment at least, and that's oil or some sort of fluid that's now up on the windscreen. And if he wipes that, it's just going to become a smeary mess all over the front of the car. Hopefully we can hear from him at the end of the stage. Find out what's gone on there, but for sure, Georg Linnemeier has got a story to tell in here. Unfortunately, we're not going to hear from Linnemeier. Molly's gone to Onempoja, but there is a story to tell there. Yeah, he'll be frustrated with that.
Et droite 140 à fond halte, 80 mètres, gauche à 80 mètres, gauche à fond, pour un droitier, sur gauche 150 plus axe, sur droite à fond, pour attention avant maison, gauche 163, ferme 150 plus, soulage pas corde, donc, droite à fond, gauche à fond, 80 mètres, droite 167, ferme 140 sur tout pas corde devant maison, pour gauche à fond, 80 mètres.
Rossell now our next driver to complete. As you can see, 9.7 seconds down here. Again, another driver, Chenny, who's not scoring points, but He was a tad frustrated yesterday because he couldn't seem to find good pace out there, and he did a lot of comparisons to gravel rallies back home and how different the stages are in comparison to here.
Yeah, the stages are just that much more unique, aren't they, Bex? Here in Finland, that's a good example there. You're approaching these blind crests where you can't see what's on the other side of it, so you're relying massively on the pace notes and the positioning of the car. So important. This is just, it's about, you know, I was just saying it just a moment ago, it's about getting experience, isn't it, of these stages. That's what Johan's doing, and he's absolutely made the right decision to opt not to score points here, particularly with how stiff the competition is around him and how, you know, he's got a lot of quick young drivers around him. It would have been foolish to have chosen Rally Finland as a point-scoring option for him.
No, he's made a wise choice there, I think. Stage classification for you then, Kalle Rovanperä with the fastest time, 8:20.3. With Elvin Evans 2.2 seconds behind that. Ogier was third fastest, 2.9 adrift of Evans, 5.1 seconds behind Rovanperä. Then it's Neuville, Katsuta, Formeau and Lappi, with Mikko Heikkilä taking the fastest time in WRC2 so far at least. Plenty more drivers coming through. So it was Lauri Juna then who also actually set a really good time on that stage. Kalle Rovanperä then leads by 10.2 seconds over Elvin Evans. Sebastian Ogier is in third position. He's now 3.5 behind Evans. Evans has extended his advantage over Ogier. Neuville is fourth, 19.9 seconds adrift of podium place. Formeau is fifth, and then we have Oliver Solberg leading the WRC2 category in sixth overall and 25.6 seconds ahead of Jari-Matti Latvala, with Robert Ververs in third in that WRC2 category. But Mikko Heikkilä is only 1.3 behind. Now, we've been talking about Onimpoja all weekend. Let's head out to Onimpoja, to Kakuristo Junction and to Kiri Blå. So Takamoto is going to be first on the road for us. He's back under restart today. Give us a bit of a sense of what you've thought of the rally so far, Marcus. Who's impressed you out there the most this weekend?
No, I think the Toyotas, they are there in the front, and Sami Pajari did a really good start, except the first stage, of course. He was a little bit sliding here, but lucky to continue. But the speed is there, so he's good. Hyundai have been a bit unlucky, how to say.
Yeah, certainly.
Two cars out, and that's not good for the championship. But let's see today what will happen.
Absolutely. So, Takamoto Katsuta, back under restart. As we mentioned, he damaged his rear suspension yesterday. First on the road today, and maybe more difficult being first on the road today. It's a little bit drier out there. It was really quite wet yesterday. So there is some cleaning for Taka to do today.
I would say when I look at the stage now, there is no cleaning at all. It's not bad to be first. Okay, you have no marks on the stage. Maybe it's the best to be second or third, or to see a little bit where they have gone the cars before, but here it looks fantastic. It's good.
Always difficult to come back into a rally when something has gone wrong on the previous day.
Yeah, exactly, because you are not in the results, you are nowhere, and difficult to come up in the feeling again to fight for the last tenths and seconds, so it's not ideal at all. But like you see, here is no cleaning. It's still a bit wet, in fact.
Well, that's good for Taka, at least.
It's good for Taka.
And of course, tomorrow he can target to get some Super Sunday points. That's the fallback for him now after, obviously, disaster yesterday. Because we did see some good pace from him before the incident yesterday.
Exactly. Only a few seconds here and there and to the top, so for me it was good drive.
Left 30, jump right and 4 left plus after press, big jump.
What have you thought of Taka out there this year then? Because drivers go through phases of, you know, greatness, and he's still learning, but he's got good pace, but sometimes the consistency isn't there.
Yeah, I think it's to find a consistency and to make the one good result would help him.
Yeah.
And he can do it, so when he does that, it's easier the next one again.
Tight 2 right down, blocks.
Again, I feel that I'm sitting in the car.
I know. Marcus Collins actually moving in his seat right now, which is very entertaining for me to watch. I always think when you come into commentary here at Rally Finland, it must be one of the toughest ones, because like you are moving in your seat.
Yes, I'm moving.
You're part of the stage itself.
Next time you have to find a proper seat to me, a rally seat here.
We will. That will happen, believe me. That will be
Maybe
great.
I will fall down now for good.
Please don't. Don't fall. PK was talking to you yesterday, Marcus, when you were out in the service park, talking about all your wins here, you know, your favourite elements of Rally Finland over the years. It must be so difficult to select that.
Yeah, I told that the first win and the last win were the best ones. Okay, between them also fantastic wins, but okay. Yeah, he has quite high speed with these cars these days.
We're just hearing that it is starting to rain at the stop control, at least. Whether we see any rain now on the final kilometres of this stage.
Okay, that will help Taka if it's not raining.
But you mean, you've experienced Rally Finlands over the years where we have had plenty of rain. You know how it affects, how it changes the road, how the road evolves, but it's still difficult for these drivers to read where the grip is right now.
I remember one year with the Ford, it came so much water that the wipers couldn't handle it. they went too slow. And that's, I mean, it's quite frustrating when you can't see. That's the most important.
Yeah.
You don't need 400 horsepower if you don't have wipers.
No, exactly. Probably one of the cheapest parts on the car.
Yeah. And when they are not working properly, it's disturbing like hell.
It's been an interesting summer because we've had fast events with Poland, of course, Latvia, now Finland. And even though they all share the same characteristic of being fast, they are all different.
They are all different, yes, that's true. And the surface also, it's a bit different. Esa-Pekka.
It was unfortunate yesterday. If you caught the coverage, it was in the łapkę stage, in a forest section, very tight, winding section that was very rutted, deeply rutted there.
It was quite awful, looked bad. And maybe Esa-Pekka was a bit too fast, and it was bumping like hell there, and then just a small smash in the tree.
Yeah, had unfortunately big consequences. He broke his rear suspension.
Yes, that was shame, really.
You can see maybe just a few spots of rain on the windscreen here. And that was the thing as well, Marcus, yesterday. Some drivers getting through the stage with no falling rain, others had torrential rain.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's what rallying is, though, isn't it? You have to adapt to what you're given. Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not.
Yeah, you're right. That's true. It can change a lot during a long stage.
Not too far away now, then, from reaching the closing sector of stage for Takakatsu. Let's have a look at EP. And Marcus can really listen into the notes here.
Yeah, and here you see the mark from Taka. It's much easier when you can see where you have been braking, and you can brake a little bit later always.
But that's it, it's your guiding line.
That's my guiding line there. Brake a little bit later than the previous car.
I think we talked about this one of the last times you came into commentary.
I think so. I am always saying the same things.
No, I don't mean the braking line. I mean, I was going to say, Esa-Pekka, partial season. You know, we see drivers like Danny Sordo, like Esa-Pekka, coming in on a partial season, and you jump into a car, especially at this event, Marcus, which is so fast. It's so difficult to be able to get back on you know, the pace you know you have. He's won this event before.
I think it's not good for Esa-Pekka, but he's saying that it's good. He wants to do part of the season, but he was a little bit late. To just do some rallies and to come back to the high-speed rallies again, it's not good if you are not doing it all the time.
But you do need that seat time, but also it does show with drivers like him, with drivers like Sordo, how quickly they can just turn it on again after not having the seat time.
No, that's true, but
madness.
But really, to be there and fighting for a win, you must drive all the time.
You're absolutely right. So the stage changes a little bit now as we get into a slightly smaller road than what we were on at first.
Somewhere here, no, I don't remember exactly, I rolled 1991.
Wow.
But it was a soft one.
Good. The best ones.
Yes, I continue again.
Did you just land back on all four wheels, or did you need the spectators to push you?
We were on the side, and there was not many spectators, but they managed together with us, drivers and co-drivers, so we turn it around.
Probably the most professional spectators in the world here in Finland.
Yeah.
They know what to do. I can see Esa-Pekka is setting very similar times to Takamoto, just slightly slower now. Up at the third split, that comes in at just below 7 kilometers.
Yeah.
if you are just joining us for the first time today, we're on the second stage of the day, the Pajala test, and Marcus Gronholm, double world champion, is alongside me in commentary. Any questions you have, let us know. As Taka completes the stage, 9:41.6. Let's see how that racks up against everyone else. Julian Porter is at the stage end for us. He's going to be asking the questions. Let's cross out to Taka.
Taka, another famous stage in Rally Finland. Tell me about it. What's the conditions like? What's the thrill like?
Very, very slippery. So greasy. It's not muddy, but very soft surface, so it's moving around a lot, even fast sections. So, fucking hell, it was quite scary moments. And I mean, I was not pushing like on the limit, but still like very, very slippery, so not really comfortable.
So he's had some scary moments in there, but I think, yeah.
Yeah, but it's always scary moments.
Yeah, as you can confirm, Marcus.
Yeah, you have to just keep not breathing sometimes.
Hold the breath.
Hold the breath.
What was interesting, though, he's saying it's not muddy out there, but there are some softer sections.
Yeah, we can see that it's quite wet. So I don't know which way it will go, but in my opinion, it's not so bad to be in the front there.
Sami Pairi and Andy Malkinen now making their debut in the Rally 1 car this weekend with Toyota. It was a stage win, their first ever WRC stage win on Ruamaki yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
That was a special moment.
I think so. Of course, it's a special moment when you make the first best time. Okay, Pairi, they are very close to each other. 0-2 in the first split.
Your first ever stage win at WRC came here then, at Rally Finland.
Harju. That was, and that time it was no decimal, it was seconds only. 1:56 together with Marco Allen, I remember. Aye.
Marco's here this weekend.
I haven't seen him, but I heard.
Lots of legends around the service park this weekend, which is good to see. So everyone is pretty close, as Marcus mentioned, split-wise here. Sami Pairi's on the same pace as Taka Katsuta. We're just heading over 190 kilometers there.
It's crazy. I tell you. It's crazy. When you then miss some place, then you are out. And the speed is today so high. Like we could see yesterday with Tanak.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you were, I mean, I know you're such a friendly guy to chat to. Let's have a look at a replay here of Esa-Pekka on these jumps. I mean, it's quite incredible. You're a very friendly guy to talk to, and drivers come and chat to you all the time. How much you would ask for advice, especially here, Marcus, when it comes to Finland?
You mean...
From a driving perspective, drivers coming to you and asking you advice on their careers, do people come and chat?
They don't ask me any advice.
Why not?
No.
They're missing a trick here.
Everybody have their own, style and notes, and I can't tell them how to drive. It's so,
Personal.
Yeah.
Come on, then, what have you thought of Sami Pairi's step up? Because it's a big step up from Rally 2 to Rally 1.
It is a big step up, and he has done well. Really good.
It's good to see, and there's a lot of great Finnish drivers around at the minute that are coming through the ranks. It's good to see new talent coming into the upper level.
There is after Sami, there is at least 5 drivers at the same level, and but how they proceed from there, I don't know. There is not so many places to go and what to do.
Yeah, that's right. It's always limited opportunities, isn't it?
So you need to, difficult to say what is the best.
we've got sunshine and showers on this stage now. A couple of seasons in one day. Let's have a look at this time from Esa-Pekka. It is faster than Taka by 0.8. Now, Taka said there were quite a few moments in there.
Yeah, 0.8. Oh, that's nothing.
And this is what we're seeing. You know, it's so close between these drivers. Let's find out what EP has got to say to us. I always love his stage end interviews. It's very much like you used to be. Very honest, very direct, very funny. Let's see what he's got to tell us.
EP, Taka was saying it's quite tricky in there. A few little moments. What was it like for you?
Yeah, there is much more mud than on the first stage today. So yeah, the grip is much more inconsistent and yeah, challenging, very challenging in places. Yeah.
Yeah, we can certainly see that. There is some wetter sections of this stage than what we saw, and it's more enclosed here with the trees. Certain sections of the first stage were a bit more open so it could dry out. Sammy was telling us, you know, a couple of rallies ago, Marcus, that, you know, his heroes in the sport, you were included, but also his dad. His dad was a competitor. That's where he's got the rallying bug from.
Okay.
Edred for Mo now, who's in 5th position overall. Driver who's been on the podium for the first time this year. He's done it 3 times.
Yeah, he had a good year so far.
We've got quite a few questions coming in for you, Marcus, on Twitter, and various other places as well. Lots of people saying they don't have a question, but it's really cool to hear your voice commentating, which is really nice to hear. But Gusta is asking, if you could drive a rally car that you've never driven before, what would it be?
You mean out of these ones?
Out of any. Let's go with any generation.
Okay, what? Maybe some old days, some Group B. Not in the rally. I would like to try maybe Group B, Lancia or something. Audi.
Yeah.
Short quattro. Why not?
Why not? Exactly.
But okay, they are not fast anymore, of course, because these cars today are so much developed and faster and everything. So
there's a couple of people asking about the WRC2 category, the Masters Cup, which we see many drivers compete in. Why aren't you competing there? Do you want to compete anymore?
No, I don't want to compete. It's okay like this. I mean, I have done so many years rallying, and I'm sure I'm not competitive anymore. So it would be for my head not a good thing.
Yeah, you're an ambassador for Wolf, of course. So we see you on many rallies.
Yes.
Now, coming and chatting about your career with everyone. And
oh la la!
That was quite a heavy landing there. Quite nose heavy.
In my opinion, his driving is now a little bit nervous. I don't know compared to the others. I don't know. He's touching the gear, and he don't really. I don't feel comfortable now when I'm sitting in my Recaro here.
Yeah, we need to get a seat for Marcus, proper driving seat for commentary the next time he comes in. Pyrie now 3.3 seconds away from Lappy. You know, you jump into a car which has so much power behind it in relation to the Rally 2 spec. He's only had 1 day of testing. He's got to understand how that car operates.
That's true. It's not easy at all, but still, okay, keep the car on the road. Do a lot of kilometers here, so that's good for the future. 4.6.
We'll hear from him in just a moment. Let's switch to our championship leaders, Thierry Neuville and Martin Vidaga. They were first on the road, of course, yesterday. Very different from them out there today. In fourth position overall. But let's cross out to Julian, here from Sammy.
Sammy, there's a little smile on your face. It's another famous stage. This one, the first one today for you at full speed. What was it like?
Yeah, it was really nice. I enjoyed it a lot. Still some range overs on the stage, so the grip was changing a bit. And I think this is the stage the others have mainly done the most, let's say, compared to me with this car. So yeah, obviously it's not so easy to compare the time, but I enjoyed it and it was fine.
Next one up, the famous one, the big one. Little road section to get yourself into it.
Yeah, really looking forward to it.
Okay, how are you feeling on board with Thierry Neuville, Marcus? Are you feeling nervous or are you feeling okay?
I'm feeling okay.
He's got it under control. This is a great angle into the car for us to see the road and all the input into the steering.
But if you look at Formose's time, Adrian's time, it's still very, very good. But like I said, it was a little bit nervous.
Are you a nervous passenger in a car? If you ever get into a rally car with anyone, are you not a good passenger?
No, I think I'm okay.
Yeah?
Not complaining too much.
Just a few oi-oi-ois.
Few oi-oi-oi, yeah.
Now, as I mentioned, it is Thierry Neuville who is in fourth position overall. Remember, it is a Toyota 1, 2 and 3 here for Mo is fifth. He's coming towards the end of the stage.
Now it feels better.
We feel a bit calmer now.
Yeah. He's doing a very good job.
I mean, he's looking good split-wise.
Yes.
It's Lappi that's the fastest driver through. He's only 1.2 seconds down from EP at 14 Ks.
Pas mal.
Let's have a look from the outside over that jump. Have you been out and about on the stages this weekend, Marcus? Have you had to have a look?
I was yesterday. Not much, but yes, I was. It's cutting up a little bit already. I mean, some stones on the road, but. Look at the split times. There is top 5 is 1.5 seconds. It's nothing. 10 Ks.
I know.
10 Ks.
I think this is what I love about the sport now. You know, the further we go, the closer it's got between the drivers. The competition is immense.
But in the old days, you could go in. If you go crazy on 10 Ks, you could take 5 seconds out of everybody. But it's not possible anymore. I don't know how it was possible at that time.
Maybe you were crazier.
Yeah. I still think that everybody knows the stages so well because of the video.
Yeah.
Watching the videos every time, every night, and
we've talked about that a lot. There is an obsession with watching the onboards.
So before it was more, taking risks and trying to just remember things.
I mean, if you were competing now, Marcus, if this was your generation,
I would not love it.
I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, it's It is every single moment on road sections. At the end of the day, they're always watching the videos, and I understand why, because all of them are doing it. If one doesn't, they will lose a little bit of competition.
And then you maybe you are staying in the same hotel before the rally. You hear that Neville is now looking at the videos. You have to go also because it's a mental thing. Everybody else is doing it.
Exactly. If everyone is doing it, you have to do it as well.
So, but I was sleeping when I started to look at videos. So.
There's a great question that's come in from Carly here that says, what finish stages gave you that special kind of tingle, made you a little bit nervous or gave you that? We'll come to that answer. You can think about that after we've heard from Formo.
Yeah.
Adrian, you're having a look at the timing board. You happy with that run?
I'm doing my best, to be fair. It's just difficult to get a time, and I'm quite frustrated. But anyway, the stage is so demanding and so good to drive. But yeah, I'm just fighting.
What are you fighting with exactly?
I'm fighting.
Okay, so he's not going into detail there, but he doesn't feel that, you know, he's...
Oh, I think he can be happy with his time.
I think he can.
Yeah.
It's 4.4 seconds off the pace, but sometimes drivers aren't happy, Marcus.
Look now, the first cars are still the quickest, like
yeah.
I was guessing, but okay, Kalle will smash anyway, good time, whatever. But now Ogier is behind because it looks much more muddy, the surface now.
Yeah, we got some rain falling. So what stage out there at Rally Finland used to make you excited then, let's say, to go into, give you a little bit of nervous knots in your tummy before you went into it?
No, absolutely the next one, Oninpoja. Everybody are a bit nervous, I guess, in the start.
Yeah.
Because there is something, you know, you have to attack in 30k, during 30 kilometers, you have to drive all the corners, every meter on the limit. If you want to do it.
Yeah, if you want to do it, yeah. It is great to see it back at 33 Ks, of course. Michel Mouton was telling me...
Evans is
let's have a look at this.
He's in the top.
9/10 of a second up on Katsuta. We wait to see what Rovanperä does. He's faster than Ogier by 1.6 seconds at 4 Ks. He's trying to build that advantage over Sebastian Ogier.
Yeah.
But he's won this event twice now. He knows what it takes to put the car on the top step of the podium.
I feel the attack here in my seat.
We can almost read Martin's pace notes here.
Yeah, he's lifting them very high sometimes. Up in the roof. Yeah, 3.8.
2.8 seconds down then. So we have 5 drivers who completed so far. Neuville is 3rd fastest. Oh, it's a half spin.
Wow,
spin.
wow.
Hold on.
Hey, that was really bad for the fight now.
When I look at the split, it's all pretty even until the last maybe quarter of the stage. How tricky is that part?
For me, it's tricky from the beginning to the end. I don't know. Yeah, it's not fun, to be honest. I can't get it working. We try many things, change the car all around. It's nothing which gives you the confidence to attack, you know. So, and you cannot attack. Every time I try a little bit more, I'm all over the place.
I think I heard Scott say drive shaft. I think I heard Scott say that.
Yeah, but you can hear the noise, and it's probably now it's finito.
Oh, this is massively frustrating. I mean, we're halfway through. We're at 10 Ks here. You can see on the split how much Evans has dropped.
No, he will drop a lot, and next one, and
Yeah, I'm sure when they were just coming out of that spin.
I think it maybe broke before.
Yes.
That was the reason.
Let's listen in. We're going to have a replay here, Marcus. Let's listen in to what we can hear as well. Oh, this is slow-mo.
Yes. It broke there. The diffs were spinning. The diffs were spinning.
Yeah, you can hear them say drive shaft. That is so frustrating. Yeah, Scott's just mentioning there he can smell gear oil. They've mentioned the drive shaft. There's a jump before that sector. That's Sebastian Ogier then completing, but the big news from this stage is obviously what's going on with Elvin Evans right now.
Now it...
You've got a timing board at the end of this stage, but you probably don't want to look at it because it's getting slower and slower for all the cars through now.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult, low grip condition, but I had a clean stage. No, maybe too clean. Need to push a bit more, but it's okay. Elvin had a problem.
Yeah, Elvin's got a problem. We're not sure what. We're thinking maybe transmission from what we can hear.
That's a big shame.
Yeah, I mean, they were in a really strong battle, and you never want to see any driver that you're battling with, I guess, Marcus, have a problem, but especially your teammate.
Yeah, exactly, and he was fighting for a win, so I think Kalle will have a easier now.
Absolutely. We continue to watch Elvin Evans then. We saw him have a spin, mentioned within the car that he thinks maybe there's an issue with the drive shaft.
Aye.
Oh, this is it. Yeah, it's kind of painful to just watch the time drift away here. And I mean, technically, Marcus, you know, they've got one more stage to go here.
Not possible. So I think it will be okay. They can take off the drive shaft, trying to go through the long stage, but he will lose many minutes.
If you are just coming into the coverage, then this is what we're seeing right now. Elvin Evans losing time on the split sector. Suspect is broken drive shaft. We'll get clarity maybe with Julian at the stage ends. They may not stop at all to chat at the stage end. I think we need to be prepared for that also. But for Rovanperä, it continues to look good out there. I mean, Marcus, this boy is on a partial season, and he's had 3 wins this year.
Yeah. Kalle is Kalle, you know.
He's such a unique talent.
He is.
We're running out of words in how to describe him.
Yes, he is.
Just gonna have a little look at a replay here. So this was over the jump.
But here it's already broken.
He has passed the final split in the stage. You can see that time loss over a minute.
Yeah.
Marcus, you would have been in situations like this over the years in your career. It's frustrating, but
it's not nice to lose everything in one stage. Nah.
Rally Finland certainly has been tough this year. You know, we've seen quite a few incidents, and now this little drama for Elfyn Evans.
Yes. Now he's coming to the finish, but one more stage.
Cannot catch a break at the minute. As you can see, a minute 24.8 lost in here. Elfyn Evans drops back behind Adrian Formeau. Let's see if we can get anything out of him.
Elfyn, what's going on?
We have some issue. We're going to have to go and check what.
Any insights, any ideas?
Huh?
Any ideas what it is?
Transmission.
You know, we talk about this, Marcus, all the drivers.
All red lights. It's a long, long hold. We go green. A great start from Johan Kristoffersen. He absolutely flew off the line. And I tell you what, that silences any critics about trying to get the car off pole position quickly. Good Hansen, baby. On the way to 10.
make the world go round. I'm trying to get it done right now. Everybody worry about the crown being. Look, homie, I'm the man right now. Talking to a PI, kind of time we on. Don't roll like the kind of take eons. Got a little buzz, it's time to go beyond. Can't look back, no time to hit rewind. Yeah, she wants the new class. I'm like, boo, you must ask. They pour way too much in your glass. Just move your hips like a whole up class. Hit the gab, I talk that gab. Strut like up, man, I walk that shit. When I'm up, that's it. I'ma start living reckless. Hit that bag, I'ma walk like this. Yeah, I'ma walk like this. Hit that lane, I'ma walk like this. Walk in the spot, but they all get lit. Told them on flow, let me talk my shit. Every song bang when they drop in hit. Said on the man, post stop, no miss. Over your head, next time, don't slip. Play your part, better read that script. Yeah, I'ma walk like this. Yeah, I'm steady focused on money now. I'm trying to count to 100 down. That's daily. Brady pay me. M's and M's, no Slim Shady. Make a count going so crazy. Still live it up when I'm over 80. Flying, I'm hotter than Hades. Middle fingers up to the ones when I hate me. Come on, I'm fired and I'm up like a drought. Everybody lying for a little bit of clout. Stay making moves like I'm trying to sell a house. That's how it be when you're raised in the South. Mama always said that this money be the death of me. Money can't buy you happy, but I never seen a sad man riding a jet ski. Time will tell me to break that speed. First it was hate, now they got my steed. Took small sips, now they drinks on me. Commas in the bank, that's all I need. Business first and chill after. Set to cruise, but not the actor. Work hard, let the money stack up while y'all broke like a stress fracture. My God.
started. To underline the pace, Chris Meek holds the record through here of over 132 kilometres an hour average speed. Predicting the weather has been as tough as picking your podium finishers this weekend. Intermittent showers have at least provided an almighty challenge over the opening leg that drivers will hope for an improvement in conditions, though, for this fabled stretch of road.
Yeah, it's one of the most famous stages in the championship and one of the most impressive as well. With many jumps. I think I remember a couple of years ago with Volkswagen, they calculated that we were more than 30 or 35 seconds in the air during the whole stage. So it's to give you an idea of how many jumps there is in this stage. But yeah, the speed is just very high all the time, and it's just a beautiful profile.
Well, I'm really pleased that I will compete for the first time the full length of Olympia, because I did the last part, but not the beginning, which seems the craziest part of that stage. So that's really something I wanted to do.
And yeah, the beginning is cool with a lot of jumps, a lot of crests. You go sideways over. You need to be really, let's say, committed to set the car already before the jump sideways. And if everything goes well, it's like enjoyment.
It is going to be spectacular to watch. Let's take a look at our start list for Saturday morning. We do restart with Taka Katsuta and the man you just saw, Lappi, getting us back underway today. Sami Pairi having a great debut at the sports top level. Then Formeau, Neuville, Ogier, Evans, as mentioned, in big trouble. We've got to keep an eye on him. Then our rally leader, Kalle Rovanperä, looking more and more dominant, as is Oliver Solberg, it's got to be said, in the WRC2 class. But we've got the returning Jari-Matti Latvala, who's chasing down the young Swede. That's going to be a fun one to watch as well through here. Chenny alongside me, as always. I mean, we've all been waiting for this one, I think, over probably the last few months, once we saw this itinerary of this returning stage. And great to see a bit of sunshine out here, Chenny.
Yeah, nice to see a bit of dust as well, PK, off the start line. Look, the star of the show here is very simple. Excuse me, it is the stage. Phenomenal to get the full length of Olympia back, and we just heard from the drivers, Adrian Formeau and Esa-Pekka Lappi in particular, saying the start is very cool, and luckily enough we're about to witness that. Straight away you're just into this roller coaster of fast flowing stages. No surprises that the fans are out to watch this one. It is an incredibly famous stretch of road in the World Rally Championship.
Yeah, I mentioned that average speed of Chris Meek a few years back, 132 average. That was running the opposite direction, though, wasn't it? But either way, look at this. It is roller coaster's a word overused, I think, but it does just sum it up so perfectly, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're absolutely flat out for such a long time, and as you said, we've just got to look at the average speeds, over 130 kilometres an hour, and we're into the new virtual chicane here. So there you go, he's into that area now. He's got to get the car stopped. He's waiting for a green screen inside the car, so it remains red until he slows the car down to a certain speed. Then that light goes green, and then you go again. The virtual chicane has been implemented by the FIA to try and make the rules, or to try and make it a little bit fairer, because so often we see the cars going into a chicane that's been made by bales, and the cars will just nudge the bales ever so slightly, and it opens up the gap and effectively makes the chicane faster. This way, the idea is that it's a level playing field for everybody, and obviously if you don't slow down enough, the penalties are applied. I'm a traditionalist. I like cars going through chicanes and sliding through the bales, but I can also see why it's been done this way, is to just try and make things fairer.
Yeah, it's a nice innovation. First time we've seen it in the WRC use. They tested it, didn't they, last time out in Latvia. We've seen it a couple of times at the Rally de Roma in the ERC, but yeah, as you say, it is an interesting one. But I mean, I get the idea, because we have, I mean, was it Gryzy in a couple of rally back? You bump these hay bales out the way, and then the marshals have got to come in, and it's a safety thing as much as anything. And well, I came up with that comparison. If you're trying to think of what it's like in your road car, if you're being a bit of a naughty boy and going a bit too quick, and you get to a speed camera and you just sort of dab on the brakes, get through that section, and then maybe you speed up again. I'm not saying you should be doing that. That would be extremely illegal. But there's a kind of comparison, if you could imagine that sequence. Obviously, we've got a lot of split times in here with this monster 33-kilometre stage to come. Esa-Pekka Lappi, we heard from him earlier. Such a shame, of course, what happened yesterday for EP. mean, the weather, I mean, it's lovely and sunny now. Great that we got that for Olimpoja, but I mean, unfortunately, it did have a really negative impact on the, it made it kind of exciting in a way, but for the likes of Lappi getting bounced out those ruts, it doesn't seem fair that the weather's had such a negative input yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it was very unfortunate, wasn't it? The car just bottomed out in the ruts yesterday and then just bounced out, and the rear right of the car clouted a tree. Up until that point, he was going very well. I think this stage is going to clean a little bit. Again, it's very difficult from the commentary box to see. We're physically not there to touch the ground and see what the kind of moisture levels are like in there. But already you can. Certainly, this is a lot drier than it was yesterday. I think the sweet spot will be around sort of car 4 or 5. But over such a long stage, you know, Sebastian Ogier, Kalerov and Pera, they're going to be absolutely on it. And can Esa-Pekka Lappi do something with the experience that he's got here in Finland and pull a hot one out of the bag? Elfyn Evans, well, he's in for a really rough ride. There's so much airtime on this stage. You're in the air, and that's so much, and that's basically the last thing you want when you've got damaged transmission.
I'll tell you what, Chenny, let's just sit back and enjoy this for a moment, because we haven't been able to do this for quite a few years. Buckle up, enjoy it. Special stuff, isn't it? What's the key to the driving style in here? Yes, it's a gravel event, it's a hard-packed gravel event, but with all these, you know, jumps, it's so undulating. I mean, rhythm's, again, an overused word, but how do they get the best out of a stage like this, Chenny?
Well, the first thing is just being ultra smooth and carrying the speed. You don't want to be throwing the car around, but one of the key characteristics about Rally Finland, of course, is making sure that the car is positioned in the right place on the road before the jump, so you land in the correct place after the jump, you know, so that it's all about car positioning. So you've got to be so accurate, and if you get it right, it's just the best feeling in the world. And that, Chris Meek described it as that when he got to the end of the stage. I think he said that was the best 14 minutes 56 seconds of his life.
Yeah.
And when it's right, this stage just rewards you so much.
I mean, it's hard to here's the virtual chicane again. Yeah, and we saw that. I think that's the yellow house jump, isn't it? They've just gone through just before. Huge jumps in there. Yeah, they just wait for that green light as well on the dash. They've obviously got the visual aid of these arches in here, so I'm not sure what the drivers think of it, but it's an interesting new innovation, certainly. Back up to Taka. I mean, it's hard to compute. You say it's about 14 minutes. I mean, it's over 130 kilometers an hour average speed for 14 minutes. I mean, it just doesn't really compute in your head, does it? I mean, you might go, if you hit anywhere near that on a motorway, it gets a bit frightening, but to do that on a gravel road through a forest for 14 minutes over jumps, it is just quite incredible. The concentration levels, not to mention the reaction time and skill as well. It is frightening what these guys are able to do.
Well, and remember, this is the first time we've seen these Rally 1 spec cars, this generation of car coming through the full length of Olimpoja like this. We've got more power, far more aero, way more downforce. These are the fastest rally cars that have ever been built, you know. So in terms of an entire package, so records potentially will be broken today as well. As you said, it's just a wonderful, fast, flowing stretch of road, and when you get it right, it absolutely rewards you. Yeah. And the beauty of it as well, sorry PK, it's just so wide, so you can really allow the car to naturally move around. You can carry the speed into the corners quite deep, and you've got a little bit of freedom to just let the car move around and scrub off a little speed here and there if you need to. Ideally, of course, the key thing is slow in, fast out. We've seen some action coming down into this section of the stage before in the past, haven't we, PK?
Up to the Kakaristo junction, yeah.
A few cars have ended up in the ditch there and barrel rolled.
I mean, it's as you say, we've been coming here for 50 years, so as you'd imagine, it's sort of entwined into the folklore of the sport. There's so many memories, so many, you know, just these little country roads with corners that have got sort of people making a pilgrimage to, really. Just have a look at, oh, this is the place where, you know, Emil Lindholm's dad rolled, and it's just, oh no.
That's a lappy. Now, is that a puncture? They're in the back of the car, so they have pulled over. The engine's still running, so that's a good sign. And they're on the front right corner of the car. It's getting jacked up. You can see. Have they picked up?
Yeah.
That looks to me like they've just picked up a puncture in here. Disaster.
I mean, it's probably one of the hardest stages on the calendar to get a puncture. That's a really sort of, it's such a...
Punctures are very rare in general here in Finland. Let's have a look.
So you've gone off the road.
That's what I'm talking about. It's about the positioning of the car before you take off. You've got to make sure the car is perfectly positioned beforehand, because you're not thinking about your takeoff point, you're thinking about your landing point, and that's way before you've arrived at the jump. And EP just picking up a puncture there. He'll be so frustrated with that one, because traditionally punctures are very, very rare in Finland, and that's unless you make a mistake. And unfortunately for EP, that mistake has cost him a front right puncture.
I mean, that in a way, it's unlucky in itself, because you just don't know what's in those rear beds. You know, I mean, I mentioned that the Lindholm crash that was many, many years ago in the Peugeot 307, Sebastian Lindholm, of course, and that was a sort of landing off line into the ditch and actually ended up with a sort of barrel roll. But you know, that can happen as well, can't it? And it's just, you know, so looking forward to getting back out there today, Lappy, after the misfortune of yesterday, and then that's just adding insult to injury, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I mean, under the new point structure, EP hasn't got a great deal to fight for today, so there's no point taking any risks when you pick up a puncture like that, especially so early on in the stage. You don't press on, there's no point damaging the car or anything, you know, stick the spare on it and crack on into the stage.
Yeah, as you say, he's just got to get back today, and all about getting Super Sunday points and maybe some more Power Stage points tomorrow for Lappy, with Tanak unfortunately not able to restart. Martin Jarviera and Oitz are both okay, but Martin was just kept in hospital overnight as a precaution, and obviously that meant they can't restart, so it does put that extra bit of pressure on Lappy. A bit of water around there, and a little bit of a slide through the puddle for Taka, but yeah, it does get that pressure on Lappy, doesn't it, to get something out of Super Sunday. So yeah, no point worrying about that today. It just means he doesn't get to enjoy the full flow of Olimpoja for this first run through.
Massive changes in grip levels from the start of the stage to the end of the stage, PK. So this is the part of the stage that some of the drivers will be more familiar with. The end of the stage they've done, and you can see it's much more technical, but standing water, the grip levels have come down significantly. You can see the way that the car was moving around underneath Taka. So again, it's a bit of a mental reset when you come off those super fast flowing roads that are nice and wide, and you've got room to let the car move around, and the grip levels actually will be quite good through there to this part of the stage now, where it becomes way more technical and the grip has come down.
Yeah, they call this the small road over here, don't they? A very different sort of characteristic. These more, not so much technical, but it's just the width of them, because they're still very, very quick in places. As you can see from the bottom of your screen, Taka now getting really close to the end now. Another driver is waiting for a change in fortune. It was so tricky out there yesterday, just slightly offline in one of the corners. I mean, there's so many trees around here. If you make a mistake, you're quite likely to hit something.
Look at it, PK. You can see where it's.
I mean, it's big puddles around as well. It's
dry or dryish in some places, moist, and then slimy in others. That makes it very, very difficult to judge just how hard and how deep you can go into a corner.
There we go, then into the final sequence. I was trying to do a comparison with the last time we were here from 2015, but it was slightly longer. That's 34, just over 34 kilometres. Jari-Matti Latvala actually won the last time we came through here in 2015 for the full-length right direction version, or traditional direction version, I should say. There we go then. First run through the full-on Empoya. Look at the smile on Aaron's face. 15 minutes exactly of one of the rides of their life. Sami Päiri, Eni Malkkonen, remember, making their Rally 1 debut this weekend. We'll get back to Sami and Eni shortly, and let's see if we can get a word with Taka. Let's see if he enjoyed that ride in this first pass through on Empoya. Here he is.
Taka, you and Aaron, the first crew into full length on Empoya stage, 35 meters at the Yellow House jump, 15 minutes in total. How was it?
Nice, just really nice. I mean, okay, I was not so comfortable in the car. Leah was hanging a lot, but still this stage, something special. It's like, yeah, it's really crazy.
And conditions?
Yeah, it's quite slippy, I don't know why, but for sure it's getting better. There's a lot of blues, so yeah, not the similar conditions as to the stages, but the stage itself is so nice, so I don't care.
Yeah, Taka enjoying his run, as I'm sure Sami is. We just saw him over that Yellow House jump. They've obviously got the markers out there. He cleared 35 metres. I mean, we kind of blasé about it these days, but 35 metres, if you looked at that out in your street, that's a big distance, and these cars are flying. And then, importantly, again, the incredible suspension able to absorb the landings as well. And what we heard from Seb Ogier at the beginning of the programme there, in the old Volkswagen days, what was it? They calculated over 30-odd seconds in the air in this stage. It's quite incredible.
See the time loss there from Esa-Pekka Lappi from that front right puncture earlier on. He'll be really frustrated with that, not because of the result, just because he'll have wanted to have a really good go at this stage, you know. The local boy on his home event, driving on one of the most, as we say, special stretches of road, not just in Finland, but in the World Rally Championship.
Still got a sort of wry shake of the head in there. He gets another stab at it later on, though. We come back here this afternoon. It's the last stage of Saturday, in fact. We've got a loop of... well, there's a regular chicane in there. Yeah, we've got a loop of 3 today. This is the last of that loop, 144 kilometres in total on Saturday. Sami, we talked about it a lot, but that was a really lovely moment, wasn't it, last night, that first stage win?
Yeah, it was magical for him. You could see what it meant to him, particularly after the roller coaster of emotions that he had gone through, having a really tough morning, and then to come back out and take a stage win, his first stage win at the top flight yesterday. You can see, yeah, it meant the absolute world to him, and as will this, being let loose in the benchmark World Rally car, you know, globally, and sent down this stretch of road at home on his first ever weekend in one. It's been a very, very special weekend for this young man. Remember the name, he's going to be around in the World Rally Championship for a long, long time.
Do you know what's interesting as well? Just looking at I was checking something, the results from last year. This time last year, Sami was winning WRC2, or leading WRC2 around this time. And Oliver Solberg actually was in the Hyundai Rally 1, and he was 6th in the Rally 1 Hyundai, and this year they kind of switched places. You've got Sami 6th in the Rally 1 Toyota and Oliver leading WRC2. But yeah, as we mentioned a few times, these are the stars of tomorrow. Sami and Oliver, both 22 years old. He'll be relishing this as well. I'm not sure Sami will have ever been able to drive this stage at full length. It's been such a long time since we've been here.
The Toyota working really well through here, PK. It's not trying to catch him out. It's not biting him at all. It's not overly reactive.
Love to know the numbers of fans. I guess it's difficult to calculate because in a 32-kilometre stage, but you're right. What a joy to watch this nimble Toyota dancing through these flowing corners.
You'll be able to visually see, you know, the Toyota it reacts a little bit slower than the Hyundai does, particularly on the front. When we see Thierry Neuville come into the stage, got loads and loads of front end on that car. The Toyota just just reacts just that little bit slower, and I think that works in your favour on these really fast-flowing stages.
Good running here for Taka, wasn't it? Nobody getting near. I mean, Lappi was up before his unfortunate puncture, but we've got Sami Pairi, Adrian Formeau into the stage, and they're a sea of red numbers so far behind Taka. So Taka, at least, and Aaron enjoying their run through here. Up to the Kakaristo junction. Just listen to the applause. It might be one of those rare moments, you know, obviously these cars are noisy machines. They might actually be able to sense and hear the atmosphere out there. Certainly they'll hear those air horns as they come through. Back up to Esa-Pekka. The end of the loop now, of course, so no concern that they've lost that spare tyre. As you say, it's such a rare occurrence. I think that, you know, obviously only caused by that landing offline. It just underlined exactly what you were talking about earlier. And it's about the pace notes as well, isn't it? You've got to trust them because you're jumping over these things, sometimes sideways, a lot of the time unsighted, and you've got to have absolute trust in those pace notes. When you are unsighted, that's what the pace notes are there for.
Yeah, most of the time you're approaching the jump and you can't see what's on the other side of it. The road drops away, certainly in the first sort of 8-9 kilometres of the stage. So that's why you're saying, yes, you're absolutely right, you have to trust the pace notes, and in the note will be where the car needs to be positioned, or you'll know where you need to position because the pace note will have, the co-driver will have already delivered what's coming after the jump. This is, I think, PK, this is going to get slower, this part of the stage now. Just looking at the conditions.
It's just churning up rather than drying up.
It's quite slimy there, isn't it? And a lot of that wet mud's going to be getting pulled out. So I think conditions looks really nice towards the start of the stage, but just in the, as you call it, the small road, it just looks like there's quite a lot of moisture in there, doesn't it?
It looks softer as well, doesn't it? The surface is sometimes a lot softer in those tree-lined small roads.
A lot of the work's going to have to be done in the first part of the stage, and be prepared to lose a little bit in the second half.
Yeah, getting cheered over the line by his compatriots is Lappi, but obviously the 2 minutes drop there. I mean, the actual change itself was pretty good. I mean, it's about anything under 2 minutes is normally a good effort. Minute 46 was the first split after their stop and change, but as you said, doesn't really matter to their overall position. It's just a bit of a frustration in terms of their enjoyment of this incredible stage. Adrian Formeau, Alex Correa, the last remaining M Sport Puma.
That was unfortunate. You can't catch a break on this rally. Can you tell us what led to this happening?
No, we jumped too much. Just slid wide. Was really pretty good on the previous one, and now complete disaster. No grip at all suddenly, and yeah, very difficult.
Can you tell us about the conditions otherwise? Second car on the road.
Hey, it looks to be good, but it's not. I don't know. In the end, there was a bit more water on just in the end of the small road.
Yeah, we just saw Formeau land on that yellow house jump, Chenny. He had a bit of a wild landing and just drifted slightly right. It was a 38.5 metre jump, but the landing was a little bit gnarly, it's got to be said. And we went to the face camera and there was a little bit of a twitch of his mouth. I think it might have registered that landing.
Again, it's just all about the car placement prior to the jump. And of course, the aero's still working. The aero underneath the car stalls when it's in the air. So all the aero underneath the car is all stalling, but when it's in the air, everything's still flowing over the top of the car. So the flat floor and everything else is underneath the car. That all kind of stops working when you've got this big gaping hole underneath you when you're up in the air. But everything flowing over the car is still working. So yeah, I mean, aerodynamically, it changes ever so slightly, and you have to think about the balance of the car and how you want it to be balanced when it's in the air. All the engineers think about that when they're in the process of building the rally car and the aero package around it. But yeah, ultimately, it's about where the car is positioned on takeoff. I don't think that was too big a deal for Adrian Formeau, personally. I think he still landed on the road and there wasn't an ounce of lift. He just kept that thing planted.
So Sami Pyri next to come through the finale. As you can see, about 3.8 seconds slower than Taka's benchmark. Still the one to be beaten so far. 5 Toyota Yaris's, of course, this weekend. The biggest entry the team that are based here in Finland have ever had. 4.2 slower than Taka, with a 15.04.8 for our young WRC rookie, or Rally 1 rookie, I should say. Obviously a regular in WRC2 and right up there in the championship is Sami this year.
To put it into perspective, Chris Meek in 2017, in a very different generation of World Rally Car, did a 14.56.5, averaging, as you said, 132.5 kilometers an hour. So that says to me conditions are not optimal. Road conditions are not optimal. Let's see what the afternoon brings.
So, Sami, was that the best 15 minutes and 4 seconds of your life?
At least it was really good. Yeah, that 30 case goes quite fast there. But yeah, it was really, really amazing. Really, really nice with this. Exactly with this car. It's like, it's so nice. But obviously, in some places I could go much quicker, so I tried to improve on the second pass. But yeah, I enjoyed a lot.
Yeah, he enjoyed that a lot, Jenny, and I think Thierry Neuville might have enjoyed that, the Yellow House jump, maybe a little bit too much. That's the biggest leap we've had at that famous crest. 46 metres we've had recorded for Thierry Neuville's jump at that Yellow House jump. But 4.5 seconds slower. There's still Taka there, the man to beat at the moment.
That's what I mean about the Look at Thierry's turning. When he's turning in, the front of the car is really reactive, and then instantly you get oversteer. So he'll turn into a corner, and then he's instantly correcting the back of the car. And I think that style kind of suits Oyt Tanak. We know that Oyt likes to go into corners real deep, and then he'll figure it out when he gets there. And again, that style works really, really well on the tighter, twisty stuff, but on a real fast rally, it can just sap your confidence. You're going into a corner at 190 kilometers an hour, you turn in, and then you're having to correct straight away, and you're just kind of, you know, just trying to balance the car a little bit. Sometimes it doesn't always suit your driving style.
Yeah, it's such a shame, isn't it? We've been deprived of the talents of Oyt Tanak and Martin Järvi-Joa after that accident yesterday. He would have been a joy to watch on this one, wouldn't he? But
would have been phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's a big blow to that championship hopes as well for the Estonian crew, of course. Nobody actually of those lead three runners has had a 0 points all season, so that's why it just shows you only 4 rounds left, remember, after here. 2 on gravel in Greece and Chile, then 2 on tarmac to wrap up the season in Central Europe and Japan, and we really hope it goes down to wire. Still advantage, this man. Incredible, really, isn't it? Thierry's been leading since Monte Carlo. He's not been happy for half the year out there first in the road, but...
And Finland has now turned into an enormous opportunity for him, and I think we're already seeing that reflected in his stage time. He's obviously, Oyt has retired from the rally, and Elfyn Evans is going to absolutely hemorrhage time through here. This would be the one stage of the rally where you really don't want transmission issues. So now Thierry has got such an opportunity. He doesn't need to take the risks anymore. He's now driving smart. I'm sure he could be pushing harder through here if he wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, he's got Formo is his nearest rival, and the Frenchman's already almost half a minute behind coming into this first pass through Onnimpoja, so you're quite right. And then, of course, there's still Super Sunday and Wolf Power Stage points to come in, but for now, absolutely, Target get that third place secured. Remember, the points penciled in, provisional points scored at the end of Saturday. You've still got to get to the finish. And yeah, another big opportunity to make some gains. But at the moment, I'll tell you what, Seb Ogier going to be making some big gains. I think we could well be a not even a dark horse, but a four-horse race, sorry, with 4 rounds to go, with Mr. Ogier very much in the mix. And boy, it's going to be some finale this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think now Sébastien Ogier, assuming he can get through this stage and the rest of the weekend on the form that he is doing, he's going to step right into that championship fight big time now. Massive opportunity for Ogier.
I haven't done the maths, but I think he could well get ahead of Tanak by the end of Sunday. We'll have to work that one out.
Don't jinx it.
You know, long way to go.
And it'll be really interesting to see what he can do through this stage as well, because you know, this is the sort of stage that I think will suit the Toyota, and it will suit Sébastien Ogier's driving style. He's so smooth, PK, you know, he's so good at carrying the speed. So let's see what Ogier can do through here as we watch Adrien Fourmeau coming through. Been impressed with Adrien this weekend, particularly after the first two stages yesterday. Really struggled. They worked really hard to get the car dialed in during the morning loop. Made some big changes. It worked for them, and now that car's roughly where it needs to be.
Yeah, 15:11.3, 10.7. Still Taka Katsuta with the time to beat. The stylish new liveried Toyota Yaris of 8-time champion Seb Ogier.
Here we go.
Vincent Londe alongside.
He'll be really wanting to have a go at this. Here we go, 9.5 minutes in. What's the split?
Adrien, the on-Emporia roller coaster took you 15 minutes, 11 seconds. Was it the best one you've ever been on?
It's a monument, man, you know? It's incredible. That was so cool, so intense also, and the grip was changing. There were so many crests, compression that you have to play with. It's an art, to be fair. It's really impressive. It's not my base stage because it was my first pass on the beginning of the stage, so that was, whoa, is it there? There's so many crests, you don't know what it's after. Imagine Wiki at 70 kph and we arrive here. Incredible.
How exciting.
I think he enjoyed that one.
Great words as well, and making a fantastic comparison between the recce when you're doing road speed. You have to do road speed by regulation at 70 kilometers an hour, where the car is not even thinking about coming off the ground, and then you arrive at 190. Everything changes.
I've wrote down 3 words from that interview, Chenny. Cool, intense, and art. And I think that just about sums up everything. Ogier over the yellow house jump, 40 metres meanwhile, and the split times, as you speculated, Chenny, are looking very impressive indeed. 5 seconds up on Taka at just over 24 kilometres. This is, as you said, he's one of the few drivers who's actually got a bit of experience here. Meanwhile, Neuville, we believe, will probably just be consolidating his third place. Still a long way to go today. You get 13 points penciled in for third. And clearly, as we've mentioned, with Evans just going backwards, we'll get to the Welshman shortly and update you on his progress or lack of it. Yeah, potential here again for our championship leader to certainly on two of his rivals with Tanak not scoring points, of course. Still, you're right, the back end still very damp in places. Do you imagine this area to be maybe the second pass through that could be sweeping a little bit? There is still something of a layer there, isn't there? 10.6 seconds difference.
I think Thierry had a good run through the kind of damp part of the stage there, the slower part of the stage. I think it's in the really fast stuff where he's just struggling a little bit with just oversteer and unpredictability within the car. I'd be interested to see what he has to say.
Now, this will be a very sluggish Evans and Scotty Martin alongside. As we mentioned, transmission issues. Will update you a bit more on their progress. But let's just see if we can get a quick word with Thierry Neuville. Here he is.
Thierry, 10.6 down in there. You've mentioned all day that you can't trust the car, and that must be so hard on a stage like this, but you've trusted it enough to jump 46 meters at the yellow house.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, it's scary, and I was afraid all around long. I was happy when we were at the finish.
What is it that scares you so much?
I don't know. I don't know what to do, to be honest. We have tried everything. it's just done enough, and yeah, can't drive it.
Yeah, it's interesting with Thierry. He's quite often not. I mean, he's got a podium here before, but he's never been a massive fan. Now, Evans, Chenny, just talk us through exactly speculate how it may have happened and what this is doing to the car, this transmission issue. Well, this was a little bit earlier on.
So, front right, I would say, obviously, the drives you can see in there. Elvin's trying to get stuck into the drive shaft. It's coming out of all the transmission, but obviously they haven't been able to repair it. They've patched up what they can to get through this stage. But basically, as you're coming through this stage, this would be the last stage you'd want to have a transmission issue on. A, because of the length of it, and B, because of the airtime. The last thing you want to be doing is you look at Sebastian Ogier just hooking another gear mid-corner. The last thing A, because of the, going back to Elvin, because of the length of the stage, and B, you don't want to be loading it up, particularly in the air. So it's more of a loading issue than anything else. And for Elvin, it's just a matter of try and keep the car on the ground and nurse it through this stage. But basically, he will just be absolutely hemorrhaging time. And if he can get that car back to service, which fingers crossed he can do, the Toyota boys and girls will jump on that car, and I imagine it will be a full transmission replacement. Look at that, though, from Sebastian Ogier, 7.9 seconds quicker than Takamoto Katsuta.
Yeah, that is quite some run. And, yeah, he's done this a few times. And 14:52.7. That's a 33-kilometre stage, remember, in 14.5 minutes. Let's hear from him. Up to second now, of course, Seb.
Seb, what a stage. You're quickest through by almost 8 seconds. I do have Calla 3/10 quicker than you on the split, but just from pure pleasure of driving, is this the best stage in the world?
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, I was not really on the limit. There was many places I could have gone faster, but it's a bit the resume of my morning, so I have to try to be better this afternoon.
What are you missing? Why can't you go faster?
Maybe getting old, I don't know. No, I mean, again, I'm still pleased overall with the pace, but could be better.
Does this start to get into Seb's mind now? What's at stake here, Chenny? He's just been coming, not for fun, but obviously for the manufacturers. But a second place now, with Tanak getting 0 points, Evans going backwards. He's ahead of Neuville of the championship frontrunners. I know Robin Pera, he's got a bit of more of a chunk to make up, but it's going to start being a factor that now, actually, I need to secure these points. If I'm going to suddenly come from behind and really make a real bid for a 9th title, you can't risk everything. Meanwhile, Evans still limping.
Yes and no, PK. He's so experienced. He's been there so many times before, and I think, that doesn't look fun to drive, does it?
No.
And Elvin, there you go, is giving him a gear there on the way out of the corner. It's just a matter of just getting through the stage, and he'll also be having to keep an eye on Kalle Rovanperä, who'll be coming up fast behind him. It should be okay. But in answer to your question, no, I don't think he will be thinking about it. It is the situation that he's in. Sebastian Ogier's got lots of experience. He hasn't even confirmed whether or not he's going to do the rest of the championship yet. But I think this weekend is pivotal in making that decision. I would love to see him compete in the rest of the championship. But let's wait and see. For now, I think his job is just getting the car, drive it, and letting those thoughts enter your head actually doesn't do you any good. It's counterproductive.
Right. I did ask him the question at shakedown. He confirmed if it's there and it's for the taking, absolutely, why not? But yeah, you're right. It's a long way to go yet. Let's just focus on enjoy this ride of this young man who is in form this morning. Already won both stages to start the day. This time last year, of course, he rolled out.
Listen to that.
Look at that. Look at that. What a view. Now that is what Rally Finland is all about. Not the wet and wild Friday we had yesterday.
The whole nation behind that young man. He is an absolute hero. And I have to say, what he's done for not just finish rallying, but for rallying in general. He's given us so many brilliant stories, hasn't he? He's an absolute superstar and still a long way to go in whatever career path he chooses. Fact of the matter is, you can put that boy in anything and he's going to drive it quickly.
Yeah. And let's not forget, we've not had a Finnish winner, remember, here since 2017 when Esa-Pekka Lappi famously won his home events on just his 4th outing in the Toyota, the pre-hybrid Yaris, and this would mean an awful lot to everybody lining the stages here in Jyväskylä. But again, let's not get ahead of ourselves, just enjoy this young man's driving for a moment.
Just now slipping behind. He's there a little bit, half a second, now 0.2 of a second at 26.5 kilometres. That's on my timing screen. So it just gets so nip and tuck. And you know, as we approach the 28-kilometre mark, they're separated by just 0.1 of a second. It's quite phenomenal. You almost wish you could overlay the cars, you know, like you can do on a computer game where you get the ghost car, you know, just to show you physically how close it is. There would be nothing to choose between them at all.
Calais did a 38-metre jump as well at the Yellow House jump. Ogier did 40 metres. It's still, yeah, it's of this run through, it was indeed that 46 metres from Thierry Neuville, unsurprisingly. A little mini unofficial competition of the Yellow House jump, but it's still very, very close here. He's up again now, half a second up on Ogier now, Calais.
And we are talking just when in that time sway between dropping half a second down to 0.2 and just dropping that 0.3 gap, we're talking missing an apex. That's it on one corner. You know, there's just nothing to choose between them. You have it's the minute details in the World Rally Championship now. This is the level that we are running at. And on over 33 kilometres, less than a second separates Sebastian Ogier and Kalle Rovanperä. It's the difference between braking half a metre later than the previous car. You know?
33 kilometres.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
On a stage with so many different ingredients as well. You know, it's fast and flowing with lots of jumps. Then it becomes technical as well. And it's just what we've witnessed is two men at the very best of their game.
And the changing grip levels. Remember, this is a half wet, half drying, half dry road. It's phenomenal, as you say. Meanwhile, sad sight of Elfyn Evans limping his way through. This is, as I mentioned, the last stage of the loop. So, yeah, they will be able to get this car back to the service park, the Pavilion service park here in Jyväskylä.
It's sort of a small consolation. It looks like the Toyota's running quite a lot of rake, isn't it? The front looks like it's kind of pointed down quite a bit more than the rear, but it's also just the natural shape of the sill of the car as Elfyn just limps that across the line. He'll get it back to service, but the damage has been done really for today. It's so frustrating for him, you know. Massive impact on his. That is a massive impact on his championship fight, particularly if Thierry Neuville stays where he is.
Absolutely, it drops him down behind Sami Pajari.
Calais as well, only just getting away with that, not getting caught up behind Elfyn Evans. There was
Do you know what? I mean, actually, at the moment, it drops him behind Sami Pajari up to now.
Look at the difference, PK. 1/10 of a second between Rovanperä and Ogier.
Elfyn, it must be so frustrating today, dropping out of this battle and then having to do one of the most legendary stages in the world, slow speed.
Yeah, that's how it is.
What was the fix like?
There's no fix. Sorry, we have to go.
Yeah, apologies, distracted there by Evans getting through. Here he is, incredible, 33 kilometres, 1/10 of a second. That is what sets these two world champions apart. Incredible.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing.
Kalle, that's almost 33 kilometres of Onimpoya. You don't have any split times. You were dead level with Seb at 23 Ks and you finish a 1/10 of a second quicker.
That's quite tight then. Yeah, for sure. In the beginning of the stage, I could have done a bit better. So I was not so clean there because it was my first time on this long Onimpoya. So it was not so easy. But at the end, clean stage and nothing too crazy.
You must be very proud to be finished to have a stage like this.
Yeah, for sure. It's a quite amazing stage. I did it first time with the rally car, and it's really a difficult one. It's hard to enjoy because it's so tricky all the time. But yeah, when you can finish the stage, then it's nice.
Yeah, it's obviously still quite stressful for these guys, despite their skill. Go on, what are you going to say?
No, I was going to say, I'm no salesman, but I am begging everybody to come back and watch this stage again this afternoon, because it's going to be basically what I've learned from these interviews at the end of the stage is where they've made mistakes, they are not going to be making those mistakes in the afternoon. They will be going flat out. You know, where they know they've left a bit of time in the stage, they won't be doing that this afternoon. It's a massive jump from Oliver Solberg, sending that light, nimble WRC2 car into orbit. But trust me, the second run through Onimpoya, assuming the weather behaves itself, is going to be spectacular.
Yeah, it was a 45-metre jump for Oliver at the Yellow House jump. But remember, he's leading the way again. He won last time out in Latvia to take the championship lead in the WRC2. Just the 4 rounds remaining, remember, in this category. And what is really fun for us today is that Oliver's closest rival is none other than Toyota team boss and 3-time Rally Finland winner Jari-Matti Latvala, which is great to have him back. And we had him in the Rally 1 class last year, but it's great to get him into this Rally 2 Toyota. He's right at the sharp end.
Yeah, and Jari-Matti, who will be seeing enter the stage shortly, I can promise you will be another man who'll just be absolutely flat out through here. He'll want to be making a point to everybody through this stage. Oliver complete safely. It's been a great weekend for that young man. I have to say as well, PK, I am gutted for Elfyn Evans and everybody at home in Wales who's watching, because he just cannot catch a break.
No,
so unfortunate for Elf.
It's a crazy run of bad luck. And here is Jari-Matti Latvala. Juho Hänninen, of course, alongside. We'll get back to these two shortly. Let's hear the thoughts of Oliver Solberg, who still leads.
Oliver, I know you anticipated what this would be like, 45 metres at the Yellow House, and you're looking like you're a bit exhausted after that one.
Holy shit. I had 2 massive moments, like huge, because it was so slippery. And it's just normal corners. I was like flat fifth, opposite lock, like this, in the ditch, twice. Not a good stage at all. Jari-Matti is going to take a lot of time, but...
Yeah, he's 5 seconds faster on the last split.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I'm happy I'm here.
Quick thing, Chenny. You know the other dynamic about this battle? If Robert Latvala, he's 5 seconds up at this moment. Solberg's closest rival in the championship, Sami Päivärinta. Who is Mr. Latvala, the team boss of? He's actually trying to do his young challenger. If he could get ahead, he can take points of Oliver Solberg and physically help Sami Päivärinta in the WRC2 Championship. But yeah, we mentioned before about the jumps that these cars take, the Rally 2 cars. There's some distances as well, 45 metres actually. I have for Solberg, as you mentioned, 36 for Latvala. They do fly as high, but sometimes a bit more unstable, you were saying.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, a lot of people would say...
He does beat him by, 4.3 seconds quicker there.
Kind of interested or intrigued as to why these WRC2 cars fly as far as they do. Remember, there's massive aero on the Rally 1 cars, and it's still activated over the top of the car. So that rear wing's still working, and its job is to push it down onto the ground. So, yes, the Rally 1 cars, in some cases, are hitting the jumps at a higher speed, but the aero of the car is still naturally working over the top to get it back down onto the ground. WRC2 cars, they don't have the same levels of aerodynamics and downforce to push it back down. That's why they jump as far.
4.3, what do you have to say after full length on Empoya?
Hey, back 2017 I didn't manage to do this stage, so now we are here. So we had some unfinished business, so that's why we had to push a little bit on the stage.
So the business was good with the stage, yeah?
Yeah, business was very good, but two times have to brake a little bit more, because otherwise Juho's back is not gonna take it.
What does Juho have to say after that?
More, next time brake more. So, but okay, my back is not that good either, so I think, yes, we are getting a little bit older, so that's why we have to brake a bit more.
I was just going to say as well, what a wonderful double act Jari Matti and Juho are, because he's a driver, Juho, and he's basically, he was at the end of that last stage. We had Marcus Gronholm watch it for him. He was translating for us. He said, oh, you need to be turning into the corner. Basically, he's like the ultimate backseat driver, because he's literally a driver. It's a really funny, they're like a little married couple at the end of stages sometimes.
Do you know why Jari Matti is doing so well this weekend? I mean, he is doing really well. Yes, he's phenomenally quick in a car, but there is a bit of rust. The reason why is because there's no pressure whatsoever, and every single time we've seen him get to the end of a stage, he's got a massive smile on his face. He's enjoying it, and his mental frame of mind is exactly where it needs to be. He's having the time of his life this weekend, and when you do that, in any form of motorsport, the times naturally come. So it's brilliant to see Jari Matti having such a great time, and you're absolutely right. He's doing it with one of his best mates, Juho Hänninen, alongside him. They've worked together for a long, long time, both as in the management side of the Toyota Gazoo Racing World Rally team, and of course in the car together. They go and do historic rallies together. So for sure, it's a fairly special pair of guys inside that car.
So meanwhile, Virves completed 12.1 seconds off that pace of Oliver, but it was that young man, once again, Kalle Rovanperä, a clean sweep of stage wins on this Saturday morning. Just a tenth of a second over 33 kilometres, though, between our two world champions, Rovanperä and Ogier. Taka Katsuta had a fine run to third place. Sami Päiri, fourth place in his first outing. And it's still Rovanperä, though, who leads the way. He's going to take some stopping now. The local hero hoping to end 7 years of hurt, and it has been quite some return to the legendary on Empoya. That's the overall standings. Ogier 21 off the lead now. We've only got to wait about 5 hours or so for another dose of on Empoya, so make sure you join us again for the second loop. And wonderful scenes here, but until a bit later on then, it's goodbye for now.